Here we are back together again, friends, for another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Managing diabetes is difficult, but trying to do it when you don't understand the lingo, that's almost impossible. The Defining Diabetes series began in 2019, and today we're adding to it. Go to juiceboxpodcast.com. Up in the menu, click on Defining Diabetes, and you'll see a complete list of all the terms that we've defined so far. My Grand Rounds series was designed by listeners to tell doctors what they need, and it also helps you to understand what to ask for. There's a mental wellness series that addresses the emotional side of diabetes and practical ways to stay balanced. And when we talk about GLP medications, well, we'll break down what they are, how they may help you, and if they fit into your diabetes management plan. What do these three things have in common? They're all available at juiceboxpodcast.com, up in the menu. I know it can be hard to find these things in a podcast app, so we've collected them all for you at juiceboxpodcast.com. While you're listening, please remember that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. All right, we are going to define total daily dose of insulin. So what is that? Is TDI and TDD the same? Are people talking about the same thing?
They're essentially the same thing.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah. TDD, TDI, total daily insulin, total daily dose, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really it just means adding together what you bolus, both for food and correction, as well as the amount of basal that you're getting in a day. And you add them together, that's your total daily dose. And it may look a bit different day to day, especially with those who are using pumps, right? Because we have these algorithms that titrate things up and down. So one day it might look like 42, and the next day it might look like 48, and the next day it might look like 39. And what's changing there? Basal. It's going up and down. They might eat a lot more one day than the other day. But when we aim to look at total daily dose from a perspective of adjusting some settings, which is what can be used for kind of going forward, we take an average, usually over the past 7 days or the past 14 days, to get an idea of what is typical.
Yeah. I was thinking that probably nowadays one of the places this still comes up, right, is people who are getting off of MDI and going into a pump or going into an automated system, especially like Omnipod 5, right? Like they really want you to start with like a number, like this is you have to tell it on day one, like this is my total daily insulin.
Right.
That's why that's still coming up. Gosh, I don't really remember that being a big part of management for us back then, but yeah, I don't think about it much, honestly.
I think for kids, it might be, or anybody going through a transitional time in life where their needs are changing, we pay attention. I do, especially when I'm working with my kiddos. I pay attention to total daily insulin because as their needs change and we can see things fluxing and we need to make adjustments, tracking their total daily insulin can be helpful to explain this is why you're seeing a higher blood sugar. We're needing to increase. Little Susie has grown an inch in the past 3 months. This is why her insulin needs are this versus this. Yeah. So it's helpful just to acknowledge that you're not crazy that insulin needs are going up.
Right.
So,
it's funny too, because people sometimes talk about that, like, your insulin should be 50% basal and 50% bolus. I don't really prescribe to that, really. I don't see that being the case some days.
And no, really, the pump that strives hard, which very well, having done all the Omnipod 5 episodes, that algorithm strives really hard to get somebody to about a 50-50.
Right.
But that's that's how it was written, coded to do, where with algorithm-driven systems, especially in the DIY community, that 50-50, it can kind of get thrown out the window a bit because of the give and take of the system for the way that the algorithm is written to work for you.
No, I'm glad you said it, because I was thinking that that might be an old metric, really, that you don't see much more of.
But you hear it. It's a great one to bring up because it's a metric that a lot of doctors
They throw it around.
still are hard lined in looking at. And they're like, no, something's got to be off. We have to throw in more basal here because, you're only getting 30% when you should be getting a 50-50 split. And it's like then cleanup work on my part, teaching somebody. It's kind of old school information.
Right. Okay. All right. TDI, also TDI or TDD. Why do people change things? Like, why did whatever was first, why did someone one day go, oh, it should be TDD or vice versa?
Yeah,
like, why do you got to make everything hard? Just
keep it.
Say the thing. All right. Thanks.
Right.
Hey kids, listen up. You've made it to the end of the podcast. You must have enjoyed it. You know what else you might enjoy? The private Facebook group for the Juicebox Podcast. I know you're thinking, Facebook, Scott, please. But no. Beautiful group, wonderful people, a fantastic community. Juicebox Podcast, Type 1 Diabetes on Facebook. Of course, if you have Type 2, or you're touched by diabetes in any way, you're absolutely welcome. It's a private group, so you'll have to answer a couple of questions before you come in. We'll make sure you're not a bot or an evildoer, then you're on your way. You'll be part of the family. Hey, thanks for listening all the way to the end. I really appreciate your loyalty and listenership. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Hey, I'm dropping in to tell you about a small change being made to the Juice Cruise 2026 schedule. This adjustment was made by Celebrity Cruise Lines, not by me. Anyway, we're still going out on the Celebrity Beyond cruise ship, which is awesome. Check out the walkthrough video at juiceboxpodcast.com/juicecruise. The ship is awesome. It's still a 7-night cruise. It still leaves out of Miami on June 21st. Actually, most of this is the same. We leave Miami June 21st, head to Coco Cay in the Bahamas, but then we're going to San Juan, Puerto Rico instead of St. Thomas. After that, Bastiere, I think I'm saying that wrong, St. Kitts and Nevis. This place is gorgeous. Google it. I mean, you're probably going to have to go to my link to get the correct spelling because my pronunciation is so bad. But once you get the St. Kitts and you Google it, you're going to look and see a photo that says to you, oh, I want to go there. Come meet other people living with type 1 diabetes, from caregivers to children to adults. Last year, we had 100 people on our cruise, and it was fabulous. You can see pictures again at my link, juiceboxpodcast.com/juicecruise. You can see those pictures from last year there. The link also gives you an opportunity to register for the cruise or to contact Suzanne from Cruise Planners. She takes care of all the logistics. I'm just excited that I might see you there. It's a beautiful event for families, for singles, a wonderful opportunity to meet people, swap stories, make friendships, and learn. Have a podcast? Want it to sound fantastic? WrongWayRecording.com.